new Muslims from America and other lands by Imtiaz Ahmad Madni. Chapter 1.5. Susan, an American housewife, discovers Islam. Susan married Abdul Qadir, a Burmese Muslim residing in Maryland. He was a manager of a shoe company and frequently offered salat in Laurel Masjid. One day he expressed his difficulties to me. He said, I'm married to a Christian lady. We are blessed with twin daughters, and I'm worried about the future of my children. I tried my best to bring my wife to this masjid, but she totally refused. What should I do? I advised him to bring her to our home for a dinner. She will meet my wife and would feel more comfortable. This approach worked. Susan started coming to the masjid and also started attending session of tafsir, that means interpretation or explanation of the Quran. A few weeks passed very well. One Friday, I was conducting the tafsir session. I gave an explanation of a few verses of Quran and then I invited questions from the participants. Susan asked a question. Another gentleman responded even before I could say anything. To my surprise, Susan started crying bitterly while sitting in the session. Everybody was confused. Abdul Qadir let her out of the masjid and drove her home. Later on, I asked Abdul Qadir the reason for her crying. He said Susan refused to go to masjid again. She felt that her question had annoyed the person who answered it since he had a very serious face. She does not like to annoy anybody. To the best of her knowledge and judgment, the respondent was not annoyed. He only had a serious look. I said to Abdul Qadir, please explain to her that many people from India and Pakistan have serious faces. You can see this at any airport or bus station or shopping center. This is our cultural drawback. Susan gradually digested this idea and after a few months returned to the masjid. She learned more and more about Islam every week. She found the question and answer session very beneficial in understanding Islamic values and faith. She developed many friendly relationships with other ladies in the masjid and received a lot of encouragement and respect. She liked this new way of life and wished to embrace Islam. I had the honor to invite her to recite Shahada. That means I bear witness that there is no deity but Allah and Muhammad ﷺ is his messenger. After that, she was a Muslim and our sister in Islam, Alhamdulillah. I also performed the Islamic marriage between her and her husband in the masjid the same day. Susan was enjoying a new life under the blessing of the Islamic faith. During the Islamic marriage, I explained to them that it was mandatory for the husband to give a mahar or dowry to his wife. I also reminded them that the mahar is a personal property of the wife and she can use it in any way she chooses. The husband has no say in the matter throughout his life. Abdul Qadir eagerly agreed to pay the mahar. Susan was amazed to see the respect accorded to women in Islam and the way her rights are preserved. It definitely strengthened her Islamic faith. This session, this situation took place in another state also. I avoid to give detail of this for the sake of brevity. Now, Susan chose to be called Saida, since she was very gentle and nice to everybody. She embraced Islam with clear knowledge, utmost sincerity, and full commitment. She immediately started observing the full Islamic dress code, irrespective of fear from the neighbors and the general public. Her daughters were going to elementary school at that time. She asked each of them to wear a headscarf in school, despite the fact that the children tried to make fun or tease them for that. I told her that it was not necessary for her young girls to face this difficult situation at school. However, she emphasized that they should learn and observe the Islamic way of life from their young age. So Saida and her two young daughters wore Islamic dress and looked very distinguished and graceful wherever they went. This was the level of faith and commitment. Her husband used to laugh at himself. He felt that we born Muslims take Islam very lightly and hence our commitment is shaky. Abdul Qadir and Saida have a very peaceful and enviable family life. Alhamdulillah. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم